Hi, it's Michael Senoff with Michael Senoff's HardToFindSeminars.com. The title of this interview is called The Newest Secret in Internet Marketing Will Generate Tons of Leads in Less than a Second. Most people know they need to capture the lead when it comes to Internet marketing. This usually means creating a squeeze page that offers something for free in exchange for a prospect's contact information. While this can be a useful way to create a list, it can also be tedious, time-consuming, expensive, and not as targeted as you probably would want. Fortunately, it's not the only method. Somewhere along the way, a genius discovered that instead of trying to get leads to come to you, it would be a lot more effective if you could go to the leads. This simple concept set the wheels in motion until finally software was developed that could track down hundreds of hot leads at the click of a mouse. And what you can do with those leads is the most amazing part about it. So in this audio interview, you'll hear all about this incredible new software that's taken the internet marketing to the next level and how you can make the most money possibly using it. You'll also hear the 5 main ways to make money and tons of it selling or renting your leads online. Eye-popping, real-time demonstration of how easy the software works and how to use the results in your day-to-day business. 3 surefire ways to use this software to make money in an affiliate program. You'll also learn why you really don't need to be a marketing expert or a computer geek in order to email hundreds of prospects at a time using this software and even run tests on those email campaigns, all with the click of a mouse. You'll learn all about the step-by-step guides, mentoring program, and guarantee included with the software that truly makes it a no-sweat, no-brainer way to market on the internet today. This amazing software was designed to identify the people currently online looking for the products you're selling. Then it allows you to contact them instead of waiting for them to find you. And once you hear how others are using the software to make ridiculous amounts of money in virtually no time flat, you'll definitely want to know more. And this audio explains it all. So I hope you enjoy this interview. Now let's get going. At the end of the interview, there is a link that will direct you to an actual video demonstration. So let's do it. Take me to the beginning. Were you guys the first ones out there, or were you one of the copycats?
We were the first ones out there. The way that our software technology came about was my business partner, who at the time we had met at an internet marketing seminar that I had been emceeing, and I kind of branded myself as kind of the lead generation guy. And, I was a medical doctor, and I retired from medicine and got involved in internet marketing at the age of 34. And really my success was being able to generate leads, and I started generating leads in 11 different markets, over 700,000 leads.
So you were generating those kind of leads without the software?
Without the software, right. The usual that most people think of in terms of squeeze pages and opt-in pages, where you're capturing someone's name and email address and using both paid and free advertising to generate all these leads. So in my industry, I was kind of known as them, and then I was approached by a younger gentleman, kind of a tech guy, and he was kind of known for doing some really innovative software. He had created this software technology, and he asked me about how I generated leads, just about what I was talking about, and then he basically said, are you interested in learning how to generate 83 leads in about 17 seconds? And I said, okay, sure. He said, well, I've developed the software for that. And then I responded to him pretty skeptically. Once there was B and once there was S.
Did you really?
I really did.
And what did he do?
He showed me how it worked, and at the time it was pretty rudimentary, but it was pretty amazing. And we had some ideas and spent the night just thinking about different ideas, and this is important. He created the software for himself. He had kind of an SEO web design business, and he was using it to find local clients in his hometown. And he was able to do it. How the software works is he searches for what people want and are asking for, and then he's able to contact these people. The thing that was great about the software is it's stuff that you and I, we would do manually, like if we were answering an ad, a classified ad, or responding to a forum. But what he did was he had the ingenuity to figure out, if I'm doing this manually, why can't I create something to do this automatically? And so he created this, we call it kind of a buyer search engine, but he used it to find people who were, wanting web design services, etc., based upon a keyword, and put together in a matter of seconds all these people in one format where he was able to peruse through all the requests. And then he added, which I thought was genius, he added an email component to it, which then allowed him to respond to all of those with his website or phone number or whatever.
How did he demonstrate it for you, at least that very first version he had? Did you go out and meet him personally, or did he show it to you on a computer? And when you saw it, I want you to tell me, what were your thoughts when you look at everything you had done and that every other internet marketer is trying to learn, generating leads outside of using software like that? What did it make you think about?
Well, first of all, he just kind of described it. But, somebody's like telling you something. It's like, that's kind of unique, interesting, but I really didn't get it until I actually saw how it worked.
How did he show you?
We had met initially and just talked on the phone and on instant message before, but, he's feeling me out and I'm kind of feeling him out type of thing. And then I believe it was either the next day or two after, getting to know and understand, they said, okay, let me show you what it can do. And they showed me on his laptop, and I was like, this is pretty amazing. This is pretty cool. And, yeah, exactly what you said. I started flashing back on all the other things and how I was generating leads and said, you know what, this is something that's really new and innovative that no one has ever seen in internet marketing. Sure enough, it turned out to be true.
Can I ask you just about how many years ago that first version was when you first learned about it?
I would say about 2.5 years ago. Just kind of flashing back just to know where it came from. When we first had the software, I wanted to get my hands on it, but I also wanted to make sure that my clients could see if it would work for them. And he actually came down to one of my workshops that I was having a few months later. Again, when I first saw it, it was still rudimentary, but, it wasn't pretty. It was a lot slower than what it is now. And then he refined it a few months later, and I remember I occasionally do seminars where you have multiple speakers. I remember a couple days before if he could, talk about his software that he had developed. And really, as an aside, I said, okay, yeah, sure, but I really can't have you be selling anything or anything like that. They're here to learn. And he actually demonstrated that software and had said, if you guys are interested in it, he'll tell you himself. He's not like a big-time speaker or anything, kind of a techie guy. And it was amazing. Everybody just rushed to him wanting to get a copy, and we're basically saying, this is amazing and outstanding what you're doing here, because it literally was nothing that had ever been seen before. Since then, we realized, we need to support them, because with new technology like this and generating leads in a different way than most everybody else is doing it, you want to make sure you're doing it the right way. And usually one of the questions that we get when people first talk about is, okay, you have these people, they're buyers on the internet, you're using it to search for them, and then you're emailing them. Is this considered spam? The best things that we did at the beginning was just to make sure, before we release the software, let's do our due diligence. I come from a medical background. I'm very careful about what I can recommend and what I can say and do on the internet. So we hired a high-priced attorney who specialized in web compliance and made sure, you guys need to do the right things and do it the right way. But having the ability to send all these emails out, the first question you get is, is this spam? Are you spamming people? So he said, is this considered spam because you're emailing all these folks? And I said, no. They're telling you, let's say I'm looking for a web designer, and you're emailing them that you're a web designer. Yeah, you're doing things the right way. But to do that, we need to make sure that our subscribers are using it, because we didn't want to get this technology to be abused. We have to click on consent that they're not going to spam them. Obviously, if you're looking for web design, people are looking for web design, you're telling them that you're going to teach their dog, they're not going to be very happy with you. So we need to make sure we're doing things the right way. And so with the technology, we realized, just like in anything that you do, you have some growing pains. People wanted telephone support, so we actually built a whole infrastructure around that. We opened up our offices. We have 9 to 5 technical phone support that's not outsourced. It's all done in-house in the office that I work here in San Diego. And it's been great. It's been quite a ride. And like I said, we also work with corporations as well, and they use technology. So we need to make sure that we're supporting them. And as you know, in this industry, a lot of people kind of build their businesses. But I wanted to make sure for our clients that we built the infrastructure so that they can feel comfortable that the purchase that they're making, which can be considerable, is something that we're supporting them and helping them what they need to be doing on their lead generation.
Can you talk about how someone who invests in the software can use that software to generate income for themselves, or different ways that they can use it?
There are various different ways that you can generate income in supporting yourself. One, obviously, is if you are in some type of service industry like a web designer, you can find people who are looking for web design. And not only can you search it by city, you can search by your county, by your state, by your country if you want, or even outside the country. So we've had clients such as web designers use it. We've had photographers, wedding planners, writers, people who are providing some type of service, and they're looking for people who want their service.
Well, let's just pretend that I'm a web designer. I'm right here in San Diego. I got to get my mortgage paid, and I'm saying, shit, I need some clients. I've invested in this software. I've got it either loaded on my computer or I have access into it through your website or whatever. Take me through step by step what I'm going to do to try and generate my first client using your software.
Well, what you would do is you would go ahead and click on the city or state or country you want to find. Maybe you're in a small city and maybe you want to expand your reach. And really, for web design, maybe it really doesn't matter where you are. But let's say you want to just focus on, let's say, San Diego. So you go in and you enter web design or web designer. And the way that it works, it's kind of like a little bar, just as in Google is. You know, you can put or, you can put and. So if you're going to do web design and web designer, the software will search for both.
All right, let me ask you this. Is it software that I download onto my computer, or am I just accessing into the software?
Our main software is a desktop application, and it's a very simple application, either PC or Mac. Right, we put, of course, some security features. Obviously, we have to make sure you're registered, but after all that registration is done, you're set and you're ready to go.
So what would be a good example? Let's say I want to just search San Diego because I want to work locally and meet my clients potentially if I have to face-to-face. So what would be the best term to search if I want to do some web design or find some people who are looking for web designers? You're listening to an exclusive interview found on Michael Senoff's HardToFindSeminars.com.
You would just search in web design, and determining on what type of lead source you are, and we've got several different lead sources, you might even find a specific category for that, and it's all detailed once you get the software, but they have very different categories that you can search for. So you could put in web design or web design, and let's say you're going to choose one of our lead categories, and let's say, for example, one of our lead sources is a classified site or a newspaper site, so you would basically search that. And then another way that you could search it is maybe you could find it based upon the type of design that they want. Maybe you're an expert in Flash, so you could determine what kind of language they want. And then basically you put that in, you can determine geography, city or state or whatever you want, and you just go ahead and press search. And then what comes up is various different listings on different web designers, people telling you looking to find a web designer, want to find a web designer, when they need it. Sometimes they'll put their price. Every one of the leads that you get, you'll have their email address. And then you have that email address. Sometimes they might even put their telephone number as well. Not all the time, but sometimes they do. And then what you do is you get a list of leads on there, and each of the leads will have a checkbox. You then take the checkbox, and you can peruse each of them. You can click on the lead, and then it'll expand to a different window, giving you more information about what exactly that they want. You can then check 1, 2, 5, maybe you get 20 of them. Another interface is once you found out, you can email one of them. Let's say you want to personalize it. Or maybe you just want to basically email them all at the same time and just letting them know who you are. And what the software will do is then it has email functionality, and it will just email them all at the same time. You also have the ability to, let's say, you want to save it, but you don't want to email them right away. You can then export that, and you can export that, and it creates a CSV file, which you can then send out later or import it into whatever email thing that you have. That basically, in a nutshell, is how it works.
Explain how and why these leads are already out there in these lead sources.
Well, what we found out is that what the Internet has allowed us to do, it's allowed us to get advice from total strangers. If anybody's bought something on Amazon.com, one of the biggest sites out there, is somebody is trying to sell a book. Amazon got its way because it's based on how well the ratings are. So you'll have people, if you got a book that had 1 star versus a book that had 5 star with 57 reviews, more than likely you're going to buy the book that everybody is reviewing on. And so what's happened now with the Internet is people are busy and they don't have time to do their own due diligence, and they'll go to one of our lead sources and just post publicly that they're looking for something.
Hi, it's Michael Senoff with HardToFindSeminars.com. Thanks for watching this video. Many of my interviews last 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, sometimes even up to 2.5 hours long. They're actual mini seminars, and you've just listened to a short sample of just one of over 117 hours of exciting, hard-hitting, mind-blowing interviews on how to make money in direct mail, advertising, copywriting. I assure you, there is not a resource anywhere anywhere on the internet or on the planet that comes close to the free information I provide at hardtofindseminars.com. So go right now to hardtofindseminars.com and you'll have free access to 117 hours of audio interviews with typed word-for-word downloadable transcripts and downloadable MP3 files. Please browse some more of the videos or go right directly to hardtofindseminars.com. Thanks for watching.